Introduction to computer hardware. Understanding motherboard. The motherboard is an internal computer hardware. It is a body of the computer, through which all other components interface. The motherboard is essential to the computer as it provides the computer with main computing capability. It is the printed circuit board making up a complex electronic system. It provides electrical connections through which other components of the system communicate. The motherboard includes many components such as CPU, RAM, firmware, and internal and external buses. The motherboard connects other components through the use of traces, or electrical pathways such as video cards, sound cards, disk controller, etc. Personal computers normally have one CPU on the motherboard. Let's discuss some of the components of the motherboard. Understanding microprocessor. Microprocessor is an internal computer hardware which is a controlling section of a computer. It is made up on a small chip capable of performing ALU operations and communicating with the other devices connected to it. It is also called the CPU, which is the brain of the computer system. The first microprocessor was the Intel 4004, introduced in 1971. It was not very powerful. It was primarily used to perform simple mathematical operations in a calculator. Microprocessor consists of an ALU, register array, and a control unit. Nowadays, modern microprocessors can perform extremely sophisticated operations in areas such as meteorology, aviation, nuclear physics and engineering, and take up much less space with much better performance than the previous one. Understanding memory. Memory is one or more sets of chips that store data and program instructions, either temporarily or permanently. Memory is a critical processing component in any computer system. Personal computer uses several types of memory, but they use two most important memory. They are RAM and ROM, which are included in primary memory. These two types of memory work in very different ways and perform distinct function. Primary memory is only not sufficient in computer system, but also we must have secondary memory for storage. Here, we are going to discuss the types computer memory. Units of memory management. Data in the computer's memory are represented by two digits 0 and 1. These two digits are called binary digits or bits. A bit is the smallest unit of computer's memory. To represent each character in memory, a set of 8 binary digits is used. This set of 8-bit is called a byte. So, 1 byte is used to represent one character of data. To represent a large amount of data in memory, higher data storage units are used, like KB, kilobyte, MB megabyte, GB gigabyte, TB terabyte, PB petabyte, etc. Let's discuss the memory units in detail. Input devices. All computer peripheral devices which are used to input data and instructions to the computer are called input devices. They are electromechanical devices that are used to provide data to a computer for further processing. Input devices accept data and instructions from the user and convert instructions or data into a form which can be understood by the computer. The basic task of an input device is to take the input from their user and translate it into the machine-readable form and then present it to the processing unit of the computer for execution. A good input device should provide accurate, timely, and useful data to the main memory of the computer for processing. Output devices. Output devices are used to display the result for the user. They receive the processed data from the CPU and present it to the user in desired format. Output devices are pieces of computer hardware used to communicate the results of data processing performed by a computer. Output hardware is responsible to convert the machine-readable information into human-readable format that may be in the form of text, audio, graphics or video. Form of text.